Hey everybody, it's Mental from Everyone Racers. With everything we've got going on, I'm traveling, Chris and Chrissy are traveling, Jeff is still busy at work. We weren't going to record an episode, but then I remembered I had something. Way back in 2018, episode 26, we answered questions from a listener. We didn't realize at the time that listener, Bill Fisher, his wife, his friend Alan, his in-laws, his kids, they would all be such a huge part of our lives and be such a great friend. In the fall, Chris and Chrissy got married. It was a great wedding and we elected not to record a show. But our new friends, Bill, Vicky, and Dan, well, they recorded one for us. And ultimately they would go on to have their own podcast, Garage Heroes in Training. I've had this file for 5 years, never listened to it. So, without any further ado, here is the Garage Heroes in Training Pirate Takeover of Everyone Racers.
Welcome to Everyone Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of limit champ or lucky track dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions, tips,
tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy,
and I give you just the tip.
We're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
Came back, and we're having a party today, and she called me Dad. I was like, yes. We're in.
Okay. Brian,
and I've got,
bad boy in.
because I got two more double Ds. I got Diana Diamond. We're in. Here we go.
We're in. Hold on. I think we might have it this time. It's 24. I think we're in.
Very nice.
Go.
Welcome to Everyone Racers, a podcast designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. Whatever kind of LeChump or track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate. We even think you Drifto Hella Flush guys are pretty all right, as long as you built it yourself and drive it hard. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips, tricks, news and notes from the world of low buck racing. And if you can handle it, Chrissy will give you just the tip. Hey, everyone report to the paddock.
Yeah,
This is Dan Danvers.
This is Vicky.
And apparently this is Bill. And as everybody's picked up by now, we're definitely not Everyone Racers, but we're going to give it a go. We are the Garage Heroes in Training racing team, and we're conducting our second attempt / 24th attempt at a pirate takeover of this week's episode of Everyone Racers. As most of you may know by now, the original plan was to skip this week's episode due to the wedding of Chris and Chrissy, and we thought skipping an episode for a wedding, come on, that's like canceling a race for a hurricane. We also thought we'd have this out last weekend, but we're still working on it, so we'll see. So who we are and why we're here? We're going to basically cover more introductory topics since we're an intro team. We're Lemons newbies and racing newbies in general. As some of you may remember, we were on an earlier episode of Everyone Racers. We've got limited experience and virtually no racing skill, but we make up for it hopefully with lots of enthusiasm and effort. Right now our team has 8 drivers to this point. All of them have minimal prior racing experience. 3 are under 20, 3 are female, and 2 learned how to drive a manual transmission between our first race and our second race to enter a race at Thompson's. So the rest of the year, we plan on hitting New Hampshire for the next Lemons race in October. And we're going to end the season with Atlanta, unless I can talk Vicky into letting me go to CMP in November, but we'll talk about that later. And right now we've got 2 drivers that are underage. One just got his license a week ago, well, maybe 2 weeks ago by the time we get this done. And the other one's 11, and she just keeps ticking on that clock. So let's start off with the news.
All right. So the Lemons race at the Carolina Motorsports in South Carolina has been delayed for a few weeks until November 3rd due to the hurricane. The racetrack is currently being used as a staging area by Duke University to respond to the outages as the storm passes. Also, the New Hampshire race garage reservations are now open for the race on October 20th, the Halloween Hoopty Fest. We had planned on only having 1 car there, but we will be entering 2. Jeff and Jim from 3 Pedal Mafia will be joining us. We actually purchased the Ombre off of Jeff and Jim. And what's that? The
Bad.
Bad Hombre, I know. So we'll be actually racing that vehicle, and we're going to bring along our Mustang. So we're going to have the Mustang and Hombre Battle Royale. So having Jeff come and join us on our team, we're going to see how that kind of works out. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a little crazy or not. He'll probably going to leave shaking his head, but we can get a lot of tips from him.
It's good for us.
Well,
bad for Jeff.
So what else is going on? The Volkswagen Beetle.
Volkswagen
After
Beetle?
7 decades, the Volkswagen is releasing the end of the line model, following along. Hopefully, they won't follow along with the Ford and drop all car production. So, what do you guys think about the 7 decades finally coming to an end? Any comments? Any thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't know. The Volkswagen has always been dear to my heart. I remember, where were we in the late '80s, seeing brand new ones just driving around down in
I
Mexico.
know, they
was
still
like,
produce
wow,
them down there,
these things are
right?
still going. What's going on? Yeah. So I'm like, I think we went to the grocery store or something. It was like there was a brand new one inside. I'm like, what is this? This is crazy. So, and I remember, when I was working at a body shop, hearing one of those things rolling on 3 cylinders. He's like, it's not. It's a little noisy. It doesn't have as much power. And we
Yeah, they're
dropped
pretty
the
much
motor out.
like
Sure enough, a
like
hole
working
right in the
on
side
like
of the engine block. So.
like a lawnmower, aren't they? Very similar. And then Bill bought me one a long time ago.
Yeah.
When we first got married. He says, here, you're interested in having this. Why don't you go ahead and it could be your project? I'm like, I can try. I don't think I ever got around to it, though. So we ended up having to get rid of it. Yeah.
It rotted.
Well, I think it was
away in
already
the
kind of
parking lot.
rotted when we had it. So, yes, I know. So,
Minor details.
I don't really know what else is going on out there. Again, we're still learning. So, for more news, just tune in for your regularly scheduled programming next week.
Yes. So we entered our second race as a team, right? It was my first race on your team with 2 cars. We've got the Mustang. We got to work on some intercooler and turbo situations. Got to tighten that up a bit. The seating arrangements. We have a little bit of wiring we got to sort out for the cool suit, and some more lights and gadgets and fun things I'm going to put in there. So that should be fun. We've got a new radiator going in, and that's what we have so far for there. Oh, and we got to work on the gas gauge. I really want to get a gas gauge going. Well, it is fun, but
it's a built-in excuse.
Yeah. So the Thompson race, did you guys enjoy it? Was that Alan?
Exactly.
That was your first race altogether. That was our second.
My first race. Yeah, it was a blast. I had a good time. It was a survival day on Friday, just with the heat. And then Saturday was fun with just driving around. Real race laps.
Yeah, no, you brought your son along,
and
17-year-old
yeah, it was fun.
Bennett, and I gotta tell you, he was amazing. He was an amazing radio guy. He took to that naturally.
Yes.
He is all in. He's ready.
He's all in on this stuff.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get Liam to kind of. Liam's one of our other racers. He's 17 years old, and trying to get teenagers involved with the racing. It's not a bad thing, but it definitely their perspective on racing is a little different than, I guess, regular racing. But yes, a little bit of that too. But more on that later. So. Oh,
so Vicky, what have you been working on?
What have I been working on? This is the part of the episode where the 3-pedal mafia goes in and talks about what have you been working on this week, guys? So, for me, we've been trying to theme the Hombre. The Hombre is the Bad Hombre. Sorry, has been a little tricky to theme. We did have an initial theme already lined up for it, and then the Hombre showed up, and I'm looking at going, that's really smaller than I thought. No, I mean, nothing personal, Jeff, but Sorry, but
There goes the E on this episode.
We kind of had to possibly scrap the original theme that we had. So I just brainstormed with one of our other drivers, and she's a creative also. So it's easy to bounce off of her, and I think we came up with a new concept of it. So I'm No, Alan doesn't even know about that. So it's all kind of in the hush hush, but we're pretty excited about it now. So we'll probably incorporate part of the original idea in with the new idea. So anyway, that's what I've been working on. Mostly the brainstorming, and once we get that part done, I mean, it'll just be banged out. We still like to keep with our superhero theme because that's what we're all about. And we preferably like Marvel. I'm personally preference to Marvel. So anyway, let me see what I'm working on now. School's back in session, and that's been a little challenging, trying to get everybody in sync again, mostly trying to get everybody out of bed early. So, that's been a little bit tough. But fortunately, I've been up very, very early because we have a new puppy. And our new puppy is a 3-month-old Bernese Mountain Dog. She is a little bit of a hot mess right now, but she's adorable, so she makes up for it. She is named Zoe Lemons Fisher. Bill really wanted to name the dog Lemons, and there's a little bit of a battle over it, so we gave him the middle name. So Zoe Lemons Fisher.
Well,
she is squeezable, and she's
cute.
Fluffy, and she's adorable, and I can't keep her out of the mud puddles. So anyway, in our future, we'll be bringing her along. At this point, not yet. So anyway, that's what we're working on this end. Me being the theme person, I'm all about trying to get these things done and out the door. So how about you, Bill? What have you been working on?
Well, I've been working on trying to, since we seem to be getting into this a little more deeply than we maybe had anticipated, we've started putting together a website and an Instagram and Facebook, and starting to look at putting the logo together, and just generally trying to get everything off the ground and keep that stuff moving. Like you said, we did pick up El Jefe last weekend, or 2 weekends ago now, but it was last weekend when we started taping this. And that means we're putting the 944 out the pasture some way. I don't know which way yet, but we got to
definitely taking up space.
And then if it would start, it would take up less space. So, let's see, what else have we done? We did a team go-kart racing out at Pocono Raceway. We had a 3-person team go out there. 3 of our teammates went out there with me, and that went pretty well. We came in last.
Shoving any
we're used to that.
11-year-olds off the track?
I also, if they're in my way,
no, guys,
it's part of racing.
He has done that before. So he takes his racing very seriously. The 11-year-old challenged him, and he went all in. It's sad. It's a sad thing.
Nice.
See.
It is a sad thing for the 11-year-old. So also went to a Bertle Roos racing class, a high performance driving class, and learned a few things. Had a few things that I thought I had under control fixed, and a few things that I didn't have under control fixed. So the nice thing is, I think I learned what I should be doing, and when it's not the right way, it feels wrong now, as opposed to, just kind of going around going do. So hopefully this will show up in the next race, and we'll see if my performance improves. Although it's hard to tell if your performance improves when you've never been to the racetrack. So let's see what else. Prepping the Hombre. I think we had a beach party over the weekend. Unfortunately, I was the only one who showed up with the sand, and so the car is all sanded down now. So we really have to get rolling on it, because Hurricane Flo is raining on a car with no paint now.
Clean.
So we're working on that. Yeah, it's clean. Well, that was one way I was going to clean the car, but then I just sanded all the dirt away. So that was fun. And thinking that the mechanicals on the Hombre are pretty much done. Nice. I thought I had the clutch figured out, but I need to drain some more air out of there. And then the only thing left before races, I thinking about putting a quick release steering wheel on there so that people like me with the muscular frame that I have generated over the years can more easily get in and out of the car. It is kind of fun to have a car.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that when I took it around the block. And you're like, oh, here, just like a little adjustment. I'm like, I never had a car that did that. Never had one of the race cars that did that. So I was really happy that kind of dropped on it. So I was really happy.
So is this where we need to send out to our number one fan? Is that Chrissy's mom?
Let me see. This is the point where we shout out to congratulate everyone's racer's favorite listener, Chrissy's mom. Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Chrissy's
how
mom.
happy she must be to have Chris and Chrissy's nuptials. They had a beautiful wedding in Massachusetts at a yacht club, I believe, and the pictures were gorgeous. They looked so adorable. And Jeff, conducted the wedding, which shocked me. So, but anyway, best wishes on behalf of the wedding and to both families. So,
hello.
Thank you. And now let's move on to our main Thompson review. Alan?
I'm on. Oh, good.
What happens when you're in the parking lot of
the bars moving on
all right, so
that's what's weird.
So
all right, you got me. You got me,
Vicky. What did you learn from Thompson about the camping, hotel, campsite organization, things like that?
Organization is key. I mean, I don't think even for all the prep that we had done, I don't think that we even prepped enough. So I think that collapsible equipment is really good. Making sure you have your lists, duties are important, and decide, when you have, everybody that's coming, family, teens, assign your jobs out for sure. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts that I have come to realize that's out of my control. So I found that to be really helpful. Is just listen, and also talk to people who are already organized in the groups. We got a lot of tips for just by walking around the campsites and looking into other garages. Excuse me, and seeing what other people have done, even with their trailers. So yeah, I mean that was pretty an eye-opening experience. I think it's even more than camping, in the sense that camping, at least when you're set up, you can kind of chill and relax. But here, it's just working. It's working on top of working, and making sure you have people in those key areas that need to function. So, and then how about you, Bill?
Well, Alan's going to go because he was doing the mechanical side. So, Alan. Thompson.
Yeah. So, just remind me which one we were talking about. So the Mustang, Thompson, yes. So the first round we had a water leak with the Mustang.
What happened?
Sorry. Yeah, we had the water leak coming out for the bypass line right at the water pump there. We got that fixed up. Then we had the air leak. We blew up the line for the intercooler to the throttle body. That was kind of fun. Several times. Yeah, well, we had some issues at 5 PSI, so we thought it'd be a good idea to just dial it up to about 15.5 and then just see if we could make it. We didn't make it one lap.
Where did he go? Is he typing still? Oh. Hi, Alan.
It's the royal we. So we ended up putting some cooler line, a little stronger hosing, and it held together. Since then, we've dialed it back a bit. I've got it right about at 11, so I think that should be a good number we can run through. We're going to put some more cooling capacity in with a new radiator up front. That should help with our longevity if there's going to be any of that to be found. And we're hoping I get some feelers out looking for some parts, trying to get a fuel gauge going. Yeah, I know. And what else? That's
be
about
doing?
what's going on with that. The Capri. Oh, well, that was quite a bit of fun. So we got some laps in on that, and then we lost the linkage to the transmission, which wouldn't have been too bad, except that we kept lapping in second gear instead of third gear, which it was pretty good lap times, I guess. But then, yeah, not so good for the engine itself. So that, yeah, that ended up with we're assuming a broken camshaft, and I think we're going to call it terminal for the drivetrain transmission situation there. So we're looking for for a new heart.
All right, so for those of you out there who are used to traditional racing and care about results, we really don't care at this point. We're just trying to get out there, have some fun, and turn some laps and, learn. But the Capri, like we said, ended the race Saturday just outside the top 100 by the end of the race. I think it was like 102 or so. We did end up figuring out that we had fixed some of our problems with the help of Bruce from Three Pedal Mafia. That was tremendous. Unfortunately, it took us till 2:30 in the morning. And then we found out that the camshaft was broken. So all the work that we had done was basically for naught. The Mustang fell on its face all of Friday and a good chunk of Saturday. So it only put on a few laps Saturday. But then came back strong on Sunday and finished right behind the Capri. I think it was like 104. And there were 120 cars entered at Thompson. So we didn't get our goal of being kind of in the middle. Hopefully we'll be able to get back to that. We were pretty close to middle at New Jersey, but we'll see what it does. And I think the biggest thing we can take away from everything was coming to the racetrack with the Mustang not running perfectly was a bad plan from the beginning. We had thought that we get it close and then do some touch up on the track. And between Alan and Liam and Cassian and myself and anyone else who could lend a hand, we might be able to figure it out, which is true, except we didn't have any parts. And, our tractor supply items in the turbo line weren't quite up to standard. And that kind of led to a problem. So we ended up replacing our tractor supply tubing for the camper with automotive tubing by Sunday. And then amazingly enough, if you turn the turbo boost down and don't use plumbing supplies from campers, the car runs a lot better. And, these are the things you learn when you're a rookie Lemons team. So, so we ended up coming in just outside the top 100 for both, or otherwise known as the bottom 20. So that's kind of where we ended up for the race. And I think there was one other item that happened on the weekend that was notable towards the end. Alan, did you want to get into that? Or did we lose him? I think we may have lost Alan. Oh, okay. If you want to go over the end ceremony for everybody.
I'm still here. No, I'm here. I'm here. I can hear you. So the I Got Screwed award, that was quite exciting. At least we got some hardware to come home with.
Rolling shed.
The rented RV turned it into quite an interesting prospect. There were two rented, one worked, one didn't. But at least the rolling shed. It did set up a nice perimeter, though. We got a good.
I think Vicky wants to take a break from
so that worked out pretty well.
Camping at the track.
That was really
fun. So I think RVs are not in our future for the next race, at least.
I think that actually renting an RV to bring an RV and then have an RV.
Very nice.
It was more work than just like owning one and having it already pre-packed of all your stuff. So that didn't quite work out for us. And of course, the one breaking, it ended up being pretty much just like a shed.
Yeah, it was
where we just stored all the equipment, so we couldn't even use the other one. So, but that was fine. But yeah, I think we'll skip that part.
So Alan, how did we manage to become the award-winning racing team that we are? No, we lost Alan. All right. I guess the Starbucks
The I Got Screwed
internet has
award.
gone
Well,
down.
okay, so
I'll take
here's
over.
how it happens
So
from
what
my
happened was
perspective.
we won the I Got Screwed award.
I'm racing in the car Saturday morning.
Part
I
of the
got some
problem
laps in the
is
Capri.
people heard about our
I got to
rented
see red
RDs
out
not
there. I got
working.
the red mist out in the on the track. Oh no, I think I just dropped out. I got my laps in. I was happy. There was an issue with the Mustang. We had to get some parts, so I went back and yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that. So we had an issue with the Mustang, so I got my laps in the morning in the Capri. We had some parts we needed to get for the Mustang, so I was going to head out. I was, I didn't want to be greedy and get extra lap time in. I figured let everybody get their run in. I got my time in. I was psyched, and I was out to get the air tube for the turbo. And it turns out that someone else
we
went out
kind
to
of
get
had a
food
miscommunication.
while
Vicky had
the
put
race
the
was still
stuff
going
away
on
in
with
the
all
car
the
we were
helmets
taking,
and
and I didn't know
race
that. But
safety
I also
equipment in
didn't
the
know that the
vehicle they
race
were
went
driving
till
in,
6
so
or
we didn't
6:30,
actually
and
have
we
all
left
of
to
our
get food at around 4.
drivers suited, ready to
So
race.
we had a full
when
racing
the
team
track opened,
and
so.
no equipment for them to race in. But whoops! At least the error got us the I Got Screwed award. So now we're a award-winning race team for lemons with minor internet
I
celebrity.
wouldn't call the I Got
Right.
Screwed award
Very, very, very
celebrity, guys. But hey,
I am. There's a glass half full, there's a glass half empty, and then there's me. Hey, I got a glass. So we're going with it. That's right.
yeah,
That's
yeah. Liam is proudly displaying it in his room.
Yes.
You got a black flag?
Wait. Hey, we came with hardware. We came home with hardware. That counts.
Uh,
See. Hey, I got a black flag. I got my name on the roster somehow. But I got black flagged. Yeah, we were at the end of the straight there. I was coming a
oh
little
my
hot.
god!
A little too much rear brake going on there, and just looped it just enough to get one of those back wheels off there. I was able to correct and spin back to the right without fully, rotating
that's
360, and
I think
Right,
we
Bribery
kept
award.
going. No harm, no foul. But 2 turns later, I saw that urgent
I tell
black
you,
flag pointing at me.
there was so much rain at
We did
We just
Thompson.
came in. I just came in. They gave me a hard time about how my
It was
seatbelts
it
were
was
tightened
bad.
or something
And
else.
I
And
just
then,
I
yeah,
just
if
being on the
they're tongue
racetrack
lashing,
and
I was
just
sent
having
down my
everybody
way with
spin out
any
in front of
penalties.
me was surreal. It was surreal when somebody's in front of you and all of a sudden they just lose the back end and off they go into the grass. I'm like, that was crazy. And I just felt like
That
what was that Grand Tour? What is it, the Grand
pretty
Tour?
much.
When they just
I
say,
think,
"Oh, I'm just going
I
to
think
leave
the
them,
best part was
drive away."
Go ahead. That was
Oh my gosh! And not only that, he did it mostly in third gear, second or third. Didn't we lose? What gear was he stuck in?
let it
until
go.
the car
Oh.
died.
I think I need.
Was stuck in second gear. That was the fastest second
No,
gear
I think
ever.
I need to give shout out and a high five
I
to
think the best
Cassian
part
for
was
doing
Chrissy
some
saying how
serious,
good Cassian
laps
was
in
out
the
there
rain.
driving, and
Yeah,
then him
figure
coming
if
in
we're
the
gonna
lap
go in,
after
we're gonna go
wrecked
all
the
in.
Pretty much
That
just
was
like
fun.
he took it out.
I got a kick. It was awesome. So, this podcast is being brought to you by Everyone
the
Racer
Mustang.
sponsors
He
the
was stuck in
Extreme
second
Experience.
gear in the
And if you go there, you get to drive really cool cars, Porsches,
Well,
Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Who knows what they have? All kinds of cool
Yeah,
stuff. They even have cool teachers like Mental, Chris, Jeff,
that's right.
and many, many others. And using the Everyone Racers discount, you get a 25 or 30% off or something like that. We never looked it up.
That
We
was
don't
perfect
know. But
timing.
anyway, if you listen next week or last week, you'll get more accurate details and a much better description of what the discount is and the entire racing thing. And that's why they're professional podcasters and we are rank amateurs. How come you say that louder every time Kate's in the background so she can hear you?
Exactly. but we do know something. The high performance driver education, that's
All right.
definitely something that's a
So
good
we've
idea
come
for
to everyone's
anyone. To
Yeah.
Vicky's point, she said she watched somebody spin out in front of her while driving in the rain, just
Right?
to have the sense of, all right, what am I going to do here? How am I going to get out of this alive? This is it's a good thing to try, right? I mean, it's getting to thrash around somebody else's expensive car on a track. That certainly sounds like a good idea to me.
That's the tip. All right. Just like Alan said about the whole spin out.
Absolutely.
There is walking the track.
I think
for the
now
safety
it's time.
tip
I think there's time right now. I think we need to.
first of all, making
It's
sure you
almost time
have everybody out there on
to give
Friday
them
night
just the tip.
to drive Friday practice. When you're out there on Friday practice, I mean, it's so important because, for instance, Friday nights are so very busy, and you're either setting up camp, you're rolling out the car, you're trying to organize the garage area. And depending on what time you come in to start all that, there is a likelihood that you will not be able to drive that track. Your safety tip of the week has to be drive that track, because knowing where those turns are, knowing the conditions are, where every issue that you might have, to understand what that track is going to be, makes it a whole lot easier than going out the second day. I was not able to get out twice on the initial drives, and I regretted it. And after that, have a chance to walk the track with knowledgeable people, especially for you newbies that are out there. So right. So where every bump is on the track, where the oil marks are, where the curves are. If there's anything that is on the track that, say, for instance, like tread and sticky areas. One particular track that we had gone on to, they actually had a different race before us, so they sprayed the track to make
it's hard. It's much easier to learn when you have 15 or 20 cars out there driving in practice than it is to be out there with 100 plus cars driving in race.
So knowing that
and aggression
when you're walking a track is so very helpful to get out there and understand what you're driving on. So that's my safety tip for the week.
Okay, great. So, usually the episode, if they don't have a guest, the Everyone Racer team tries to end with a hella sweet or but terrible idea. So we've got one. We're trying to figure out what we should do with the Capri. Got a couple options. We can fix it. We can do a transmission.
Really starts
the sound, the smell, can you reach all the levers and switches? Can you reach fifth gear if you need it from where you have the seat position? Can you see all the mirrors? Is your helmet hit?
We've all got different thoughts and ideas, and I thought maybe it would be a good idea to argue it out in front of everybody. So, we do dumb ideas all the time. So I guess the big items would be cost and availability. How difficult is it for us to do the work? Is it going to affect the weight, balance, handling? Is there going to be a horsepower thing? And then anything else that we can think of. So, Vicky, do you want to start us off with what you think we should do with the Capri? Sometimes they put us in B last time, which I thought was hilarious.
Well, the Capri's been around for a while in Lemons. I know it's our very first vehicle that we drove and we designed. It's a fun car to drive. It's an easy car to drive and is great for beginners. It's a Class C car. So, oh my gosh.
So you want to get rid
That
of
was
it?
pretty funny. But the issue is that it will always have a transmission issue. It doesn't matter. The car being a 74 is older, so its downfall is parts. Parts are very difficult.
Alan, what do you think?
And even with those parts that we can pretty much scrounge, they're still going to have the same issues, the same problems. It's just not designed for what we're we're using it for. So, I like it. I like it a lot. I would say to fix it, but fix it with something else completely. That's what I would do.
Yes. Stig's favorite slow car to drive fast. Yes. Well, I was just making sure. So we're thinking new engine. Try to stay with kind of
That
the
sounds
I
same.
like
think
a
there's a lot of
fabulous
nostalgia
idea.
with that
I think
car
a hard
too.
Stay with
For
the
some of
stick,
the
right?
people that are on the track.
We've
I know a
discussed
couple people come up
All
and
right.
just said, "Oh, I remember
So
driving
the
a
ones that we
75."
could
I
use
remember
that we've
that
been
speed out of a
told
Camaro,
would be good
something like
ideas.
that.
There
we
was
had
That's a great idea
the
to
people
me.
ask if they could drive.
3.8 liter
And of course, it's
from
Stig's
the
favorite cars.
Camaro.
That, whatever we got.
So,
You know, the 2003-ish
I think,
generation.
of course.
I think it just fits right in
Not
the
my
whole
favorite
theme of
looking
it.
car, but
Just stuff a Chevy
got a
right
good
down
engine.
that
I
Ford
like the
and see what we
idea
can do with
of fixing it and then putting it back out. What about you, Bill?
Okay. Is this something we can do though, Alan? Or are we trying to bite off more than we can chew or hope to chew? Did I lose him? Oh, just when I ask him a question, he's gone. Anyway, so we've got the 3.8. We could put the 4-cylinder Mustang in that we have in the Mustang, so we could keep them both the same. Somebody said a 353 Cleveland, something
Yeah,
like
I totally agree. I think keeping it going
that
is the
was
right
one that
thing.
was
What do you got there?
suggested, or the 5.0 Mustang. I think we're looking like the 3.0 Camaro due to weight, availability,
Definitely
costs, and being able to put it in there. So we just lost Alan again. This Starbucks thing's not working out for him so well. Yeah, there's lots of people who drive them in the walls, and if you remember the who was it? Was it Speedy Cop that made the upside down Camaro, and then it was chosen to be a Camaro because that's how most
right.
Camaros
We can
end
sell
up
off the sheet metal. I've been looking
upside down. So there seems to be a lot of those around, and so it looks like we're going to go with this, and that's going to be our plan. If you guys think of anything, if the Everyone Racers guys have some more opinions that are they willing to share, or if any of their listeners want to let them know what they think we should do, that'll be our next project. We're going to start on that as soon as we can, and we're targeting the New Jersey race next year.
Are they easy
so we've
to
got a
come
few
by?
months, and unfortunately they're cold, but that's what driveways are for, and we'll figure out the rest of it. So with that, is there anything else you had, Vicky? All right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Alan's not on, so we know he's good. So,
Oh.
so I guess he's getting a frappa latte, icy mocha mint. I don't know. I don't drink coffee. Mocha choca. Yep. So we'd like to thank Everyone Racers and thank everyone for listening. If you've listened this far, you should get combat pay. Hopefully you've enjoyed our pirate radio episode, and if Everyone Racers put this out there, we seriously question their judgment. And if you're interested in more details of any of our insanity or learning, you can follow us along at Instagram or on our website. We go as Garage Heroes in Training for everything. And
How about you, Alan?
tune in next week for a much better podcast, because we will. And as they would say, keep the shiny side up. And so if you could come with us and enjoy the ride. Thanks, everybody. 24 times, I think we got a chance at this working. 25 is a round number.
I don't know. We'll see. I think we need one more take.
Well, clearly that was a mistake. Yeah. I do know that their new podcast is much, much, much better. I'm sorry. Let's never do that again. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week talking about New Jersey.